Guys, did your pool blaster quit on you and you need to replace the battery? Well, I'm about to show you how to replace the battery in these cheap. Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Papaw's place. As always, if this is your first time here, thanks for dropping in. Feel free to drop in anytime you feel. Just reach down there and hit that subscribe button. Don't cost you a thing. Hit that notification bell, and you can get a notification when there's more videos like this coming up. Guys, do you have a pool blaster? This one here is the Pool Blaster Max. And I really like this little vacuum because I can put it on the stick and I can just vacuum the pool when there's just a few little bit of stuff in there that you just want to get. Or when you're in there swimming, you can vacuum your pool real quick. But I purchased this pool vacuum and I've done a video on it after I got it because I really liked it. But ours didn't last that long. Well, I went to the Pool Blaster Max website, sent it back to them. It wasn't 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it was right back in the mail. They had sent it back with a brand new charger. Well, I didn't really think it was the charger, but I said, well, maybe they put a new battery and a new charger. So I put it in the pool, and sure enough, it didn't run just a second. Went dead. So I fooled around and I didn't send it back to them, and that was last year. So the other day I got out here and I'm like, this thing ain't working. I'm going to take it apart because I'm the type, if something ain't working, that means I can't break it, right? Well, there's 2 ways you can change the batteries in these. And I'm going to show you the cheap way. And once I take this apart, I'll show y'all why I mean by there's a more expensive way that Pool Blaster Max sells you. It comes with the whole housing, new motor, new battery and all you can change out. But if you go in there just a little bit deeper like I did, you can change out just the battery itself for about 18 bucks. So I'm going to get y'all over here close. Y'all ain't going to need to see me. This is real simple. Now I have already removed all the screws except for 1 screw in each place because I just got my new battery in, so I had to reassemble this in order to disassemble it for y'all to make a video. So I didn't put all the screws back in. So I'm going to get y'all up here close and I'm going to show y'all how you can replace the battery in these for $18. Or at least at the time I ordered my battery. And before I forget, the battery I put in here will be in a link, Amazon link below this video. In case you want to go to just the cheap route and do it yourself. So of course when you get started, you just want to remove the head here just like you do when you empty in the bag off of it. Remove that out. I'm going to set it to the side. Then on the housing here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws to take out. Like I said, I already got mine took out. I only got 1 screw in here to remove, and there it is. So you remove all them screws on the outside cowling there, if you want to call it that. Cowling, housing, whatever. Then you just take it apart like so. Be gentle with it because it's plastic. To make sure you don't break it. And I just lay it open just like a fillet right there. Now when you get to this step, this part right here just lifts out of there. No screws. So now all we're dealing with is this part. Right here on the end there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess 5 screws. Now, I stuck 2 of them back in here. I'm going to remove. And this is just with a Phillips head screwdriver. And when you take this apart, put your screws in each pile, because each screw's different lengths and different sizes. And once you remove them screws, that part just lifts off. Now the easy way to do this, if you want to spend, I think it was like $85 plus shipping. If you go to the Pool Master website, you can buy this whole box right here. That would be a brand new motor, brand new switch, and a brand new battery for $85 plus shipping. Because really this is the main component of this machine, because the rest of it's just little plastic stuff. So that's the easy way to do it. So I said, well, I know I can do that and fix it myself for $85. And for what I paid for this vacuum, it was worth doing that. But I said, I can't break it, so I'm going in further. So if you turn this over, you got 2, 4, 6, 8 screws to remove. Again, I only got 1 because I stuck it back together after I put my new battery in there. And when you open this up, you got to be gentle because your wires is hooked to your switch right there. Now the next part we got to remove is this little housing here that has the battery in it. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. But you can unplug your battery wires here and just pay attention to which side the red's plugged on in case you forget. It's got right down there, I don't know if y'all can see, it's a little plus sign for positive. On this side is a little negative sign for negative. But I don't think I gotta unplug them wires this time. Remove all these screws, and like I said, stack your screws in their own little pile because they're different size little screws. And ease that right up off of there. And there's the battery, guys. Now you just slide the battery out of there. And that's when I seen the information on the battery. And I got on the website and searched, and sure enough Amazon had a battery just like this. The only difference is, y'all see I cut the little ends off of the battery that come out of here. Now I'm going to get y'all back over here to show you up close. The battery that came from Amazon had an end like that right there on it. Well, you don't need that end. You need the little ends where your battery plugs in the inside here. And again, it's got a positive for positive and a negative for negative. Let me get my little plug pliers right here. The battery has these little ends like this on it. So all I did was cut the end off of the new battery, took some little wire nuts, put them on the new battery. Then we're going to plug this back up. Actually, I stuck this together real quick and I had my positive hooked up backwards here, and you don't want that because you make your motor run backwards. Now before I purchased a new battery, if you took this apart and get your battery out after you tried to charge it, you can take a multimeter and put it on the DC volt setting, and you can test your battery to see if it charged. And then when I tested that battery, that's when it showed me it wasn't taking a charge. But I took this same multimeter and tested my charger just by sticking the positive in here, touching the outside to the negative right here, I know this is jumbled up, y'all can't see what I'm doing, but if you know how to use a multimeter, it showed me that the charger was working, which of course you got to have it plugged up when you test it. It showed me my charger was working, so then I knew it was my battery. And that's how simple it is. Again, make sure you got your positive on the positive and your black on the negative, and red's positive. And as y'all seen, I got in a hurry sticking this together and mine was on the wrong side. Then you got to gently put this back down on there. Now what I'm going to do right here, it's got a rubber O-ring because you don't want no water getting into this. I'm going to take a little bit of liquid gasket and put around that, even though it's got a rubber O-ring, to see if I can keep mine from leaking. I said I was going to use liquid gasket, but actually I'm going to take a little bit of this 100% silicone on my finger. And you don't need much, because since it's got a rubber gasket, you can put just a little bit. And the thing about 100% silicone, if I ever need to take this back off, you just pull a little harder and it'll come off. Now it'll probably bring the rubber gasket with it next time, but since this is a new battery, it ought to last. I think I just got one with a bad battery, because my neighbor down the road has one of these. He bought about the same time after he seen mine, and theirs is still going strong. So I must have just purchased one that had a bad battery. You can just set that back down on there and get it lined up. Make sure it's lined up good. Make sure your wires ain't out holding it from lining up, which I'm having a little trouble. I could have cut my wires a little shorter off that new battery. It come with longer wires on it. Once it sets back in that rubber gasket, it sets right back down. Now all we got to do is go back and put all of our screws in. And this is the one that takes the little screws, so I'm not going to bore y'all. I'm just going to show you I'm sticking one in, and I'm going to go around and put the rest of them screws in, and then I'll show you the next step. This is plumb simple to do. As long as you know your motor's good and your charger's good. For $18 you can replace the battery in this. I think these things is almost $300 for this Max one here. But I will say the little fella vacuums really well. Got good strong suction. And I can actually vacuum my pool with this quicker than if you had the old style having to hook up the vacuum through your pump. But if y'all seen one of my latest videos a week or so ago, I showed a video on the vacuums that I use, and this was one of them. And I also said in that video that y'all would be seeing a video of how to replace the battery in it cheap and easy. Guys, on taking this apart, there's one thing I didn't show y'all. Y'all do have to take the two screws out to hold the motor, to slide the motor over, to get these back two screws out that's up under here that holds the battery cover on. Y'all see I just took the two ops so I could set the battery over out of place, out of the way I mean. I'm going to have to get my little pliers to hold that screw to try to line it up. So it's down in here. These are the two screws that's the most aggravating. See if I can hold them with some needle nose and stick them down there and get them started. There we go. That was the two hidden screws that you had to remove your motor to get to them two hidden screws. When you get done installing it, you shouldn't have any more of these little screws. So actually it's 2, 4, 6, 8 of these little screws holding the battery cover on, not 6. Now we'll set our motor right back up there in place. You gotta make sure it's lined up just right. And it's just got 2 screws holds it on, one on each side. Now we're going to go back on with the big cover. I'm going to take some of my silicone and put it right around here to where this sets down in that rubber gasket. That way it'll stick good and not let no water in there, since I done took it apart. And you may not have to do this. I mean, the rubber gasket is still in good shape. But I just want to be extra cautious. Slide that right down over there. And now I got 2, 4, 6, 8 screws to put in it. When you tighten these screws down, don't over tighten them, because we just screw it into plastic and you will crack the plastic. So just go down, give them just a little snug, and that's all you need. The next step, turn it back up like that. And this don't have no gasket, it's just plastic sitting on plastic. And I gotta get it turned around here to where all the holes line up. It won't line up but in one direction. And then I got 2, 4, 6 screws to put in. And that's all it is to getting that on there, guys. Now all you do, and the easiest thing to do is where your little switch is, it's going to have to line up with that hole right there. Set this down in that side, and it's got little tracks it sits in. When you feel it sit down in there and you feel your switch is sitting in the hole like it's supposed to be, that's your on switch, and that's where you hook your charger to. Then we're just going to set the cowling back over it. Be easy with this, don't force it. And it just sits down on there like that right there. Now on this part you got the different length screws. So if you pay attention when they come out, where your long screws went and where your short screws go. And actually, as long as it's been since I took it apart, I'm just going to have to figure it out as I go back in. And you really need 2 different Phillips screwdrivers. You need a bigger size and a smaller size. And then last but not least, you stick your filter end back on, and there you go. So guys, that's all it is to it. To putting your $18 battery in here, and like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below this video, the battery I used. Or if you don't want to go through all that, you can spend $80-something at Papaw Blaster's website and replace the whole housing, new motor, and all. But I really like this little thing, and I'm glad I got it back to working. Now after taking it apart and seeing the inside of it, there's probably some of them on Amazon that'll work just as good as these Papaw Blasters that's cheaper. But I can't guarantee you that because I ain't got to use one of them. But as always, if you find these little videos helpful to you, how to save you time, money, and frustration, and you ain't never subscribed to my channel, please reach down there and hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you a thing. Hit that notification bell. And if you will, every time you watch one of my videos, give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. It helps my YouTube algorithm. And as always, hope y'all have a great day and a blessed week. God bless. See y'all next time.